Good day. This morning, it was reported over Radio France International that Mr. Tibor Nagy, the U.S. Undersecretary for African Affairs, was reported as saying that the solution to the Cameroon anglophone civil war is for the government of Cameroon to put in place an effective decentralization. I want to believe that what was broadcasted by this French news organ did not come from Mr. Tibor Nagy, because this is a senior U.S. government official who has so far displayed mastery of the anglophone civil war. In fact, this is the same person who has time without number called on the Cameroon government to address the root issue, the root cause of the anglophone crisis. It would be remembered that the United States ambassador to Cameroon, the US government, the United Nations have always asked that both sides should sit on the table and discuss. By both sides, they have unequivocally made it clear that they are talking about the Republic of Cameroon and the Republic of Southern Cameroon that has today been divided by Republic of Cameroon into Northwest and Southwest regions. In fact, after the much vaunted national dialogue, the U.S. has always said that the government of Cameroon should now go to Switzerland and meet the other side so that they can now have the real dialogue. It is shocking, therefore, to hear Mr. Tibor Nagy, a man who has so far displayed such mastery, to tell the world and the Cameroon people that the solution to the anglophone crisis is the improbable application of decentralization, which means, by decentralization, it means Mr. Tibor Nagy is saying that Cameroon should go ahead as a unitary state. And he knows very well that that is impossible, because we have at this moment a raging civil war wherein the anglophone population have taken up arms and they are fighting against the Cameroon military. And Mr. Tibor Nagy, again, has told the government that he cannot win that war. So how can Mr. Tibor Nagy reconcile the fact that he is telling the Cameroon government that they cannot win that war, should go and negotiate, and then he is again now telling the Cameroon government that the war can be ended by putting in place effective decentralization? We think that Mr. Tibor Nagy is contradicting himself. He should not allow his meeting with Mr. Maurice Kamto influence his objectivity, which had so far been lauded by all and sundry. Instead, Mr. Tibor Nagy should stand for the truth and should stand for what can actually bring peace and reconciliation in Cameroon, which is the restoration of the state of Southern Cameroon, which he himself had on previous occasions said that the Cameroon government had no reason under the sun to erase the state of West Cameroon. How can we then explain that Mr. Tibor Nagy will drag himself into this type of dangerous contradiction by saying that effective decentralization will bring an end to the civil war? It is no secret that even in the francophone regions, nobody wants the unitary state anymore. Everybody wants to govern his own matters. So how can Mr. Tibor Nagy expect the anglophone population that has stood up against injustice, against assimilation, which was actually recognized by the president of Cameroon in France, He recognized that he had attempted to assimilate the anglophone and failed. How can Mr. Tibor Nagy expect anglophones who have stood up against assimilation to continue in assimilation? Because effective decentralization simply means that Cameroon is going to continue as a unitary state, that the anglophone identity is going to be erased, and all what has been done so far would have just been dust. I think Mr. Tibor Nagy should speak out of knowledge of international law, not sentiments which seem to be haunting him after his meeting with Mr. Kamto. So I think that it is time for real diplomacy to be put on the table. We are talking here about the restoration of a state that has been internationally recognized by the United Nations, that recognized the independence of Southern Cameroon in 1961. And that independence cannot be put under the table by the world's #1 nation, United States of America, whose duty it was to receive the Union Treaty and table to the UN. And that Union Treaty has not been received up to today. So we think that it is high time that Mr. Tibor Nagy went back to the drawing board and invited the Cameroonian government to do the right thing, which is go to Switzerland or to Germany, because the Germans are also asking to mediate. Go to Switzerland or Germany and sign the Union Treaty that will restore the statehood of Southern Cameroon. There is no such thing as a partner giving the other a status, or a partner assimilating the other and making him part of himself. Because decentralization in a unitary state simply means that the Republic of Cameroon has totally assimilated the state of Southern Cameroon and has now made it part and parcel of its territory, which is unacceptable. And I don't see any single fighter in that bush dropping his weapons because Mr. Tibor Nagy has said so. Thank you.